What's up guys, this is Martin here. Today I'd like to talk to you about a very important topic which is relatively unknown in the self-development space. And it's probably the most powerful life force that exists out there. It's so powerful, yet it's not really utilized in the positive direction by most of you. And you might think, what are you talking about? So I'm gonna get to it. And it's the power of momentum. When you're aware of it and you understand how it works, it's literally like a life hack. It's like a hack from the Matrix, basically. And this has two parts to it. You gotta know how to create momentum, and you also gotta know how to keep that momentum. So I'm gonna get to the first point first. What is actually momentum? Momentum is when you're moving towards a certain direction. It can be positive or it can be negative. Most people live their lives in a negative momentum. They have bad habits, horrible habits. They feel like they're out of control. They feel like they're not in control of their lives. They feel like everything is just happening to them by luck. They blame it on luck. They blame it on life circumstances. They blame it on poor upbringing. They blame it on their parents. They blame it on the economy, the country, the government, the president, the king, whatever. They just make a whole bunch of rationalizations as to why they're moving in a downward spiral. And I'm here to tell you this. Momentum is created by the very, very small choices in life. And it's the little insignificant things that you do, which are, when you're first starting out, they're conscious for the most part. But as you go up the path and you start to improve your life, you're 30, 60, 90 days in. So start. The choices will become automatic. This will happen at some point. You're not even going to be conscious of it. It's just naturally going to take place because you've already built the habit machine. So how do you actually create momentum? Well, first you gotta have a goal. You gotta have a target, and it doesn't matter what it is. It can be you want to lose weight, you want to build muscle, maybe you want to find a better life partner, maybe you want to make more money, you want to start a new business, maybe you want to get promoted in your job, maybe you want to get a job if you're currently unemployed, maybe you want to be more spiritual with God, maybe you want to be an artist, maybe you want to be a movie star, maybe you want to be, let's say, maybe you want to build apartments, maybe you want to build churches. I mean, I don't know what your thing is. So, how do you actually go from a dream to an actual goal? Well, the only thing that you really need is you need to have a blueprint. You need to have a step-by-step plan on how to achieve that goal. And the whole goal is built on the process. And the process, if you break it down, if you unchain what a process really is just a series of daily decisions, hundreds if not thousands of decisions made over a long time, over a long period. And over that time span, those positive decisions will be later reinforced by results, good or bad. But you got to start with the small steps. It's like that famous saying, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So you got to take that first step. And most people, they never take that first step. I'll probably say it's maybe like 70 to 80% of the population. It's a really, really big amount. They don't even start. They have all these wishes and aspirations to become something, but they never take the first step. They just keep on procrastinating and nothing happens in their life. So once you start taking the first steps, you're already ahead of 70 to 75% of the population just by doing that. It starts with the simple choices. And then once you start creating momentum, because it will happen at some point, once you're consistent with the daily actions, with the daily habits, with the daily routines, over time, you'll start getting a little bit of result. And so let's take a very basic example. Let's say if you want to lose weight, because it's the easiest thing for me to talk about, because I've been in the fitness world for a long time. Well, first you got to decide what goal you want to have. Maybe you want to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 200 pounds, 300 pounds if you're that overweight. It doesn't matter, but just pick a goal. And from then on, pick on small habits that you can start to participate in daily. It might be one of the things that you can do on a daily basis is to only drink water, cut out all devices, includes drinking, smoking, eating sugar, staying up late, all these things, cutting out vices, starting to work out, or just doing some sort of regular activity, and your sleep. Let's say you want to sleep 8 hours a day. So now you have these 4 components that you gotta include in your daily activity or in your daily routine. Once you start doing these things, at first you might not see any result at all. You might be doing these things for a week, still no results. 2 weeks, 3 weeks in, still no results. But at some point, let's say you're 6 weeks in, now you start to see some very small results on your waist. Oh my God, I lost 10 pounds. You see that the scale and the weight is dropping. Okay, you're getting some results, you're getting somewhere. Very good. But there comes a point, and this happens to all people, even the top people, there comes a point where you start to get distracted. Or maybe the result is not coming as quickly as you'd like it to come. So what do you guys do? You fuck it up. You mess it up. You stop doing the activity that got you the result. Like, what's wrong with you guys? Why did you stop? You saw that the plan was working. You were getting some results. Your self-esteem started to improve. You started to gain some traction in your boring life. Like, what happened? Why did you stop? Oh, because your friends told you to. Oh, just take it easy. Just don't be so consistent. Don't be so disciplined. And what did you do? You stopped working out. You started to drink again. You started to take long breaks from the gym. And then your life started to go down. Your life started to go on a downfall. And that's how most people live their lives. They start doing something. Most people already have a good plan, but what happens is that they keep going. Let's say they're really consistent for 60, 90, 100 days, but then something happens. Something stops them, and they start to be less consistent and less consistent. And they don't get the result. They actually start to level down. And then let's say 6 months later, New Year's are coming by, and they decide to make the change again. Yes, this year I'm going to change. This year I'm going to lose all the weight. I'm going to stop drinking alcohol. I'm going to start to make, good habits in my life and all that, blah, blah, blah. So They decide to start again. New Year's roll by. January is all positive. They go all in. They have all the gym lessons. They're working out with their personal trainers. And then 2 months go by, 3 months go by, and the same thing happens. They stop. And this cycle repeats itself for years for most people. Which is crazy that most people live their lives that way. And to be frank with you guys, I don't think that people do this on accident. It's probably due to a lot of factors, such as poor social circles, which is probably the most influential factor here. You know, they start getting some positive results, they start making a little bit of money in their business, and they start to make some really good changes in their life. They start to see the results, they start to feel better about themselves. But then that one friend, that one life partner, their parents, their bros from high school start to tell them, man, just take it easy on yourself. Just start to chill. I mean, just start to have some fun. Like, live your life, YOLO. Why can't you be like everybody else? Why can't you be like us? I think that's the biggest reason why. People just start to get distracted. And, well, like, it goes back to that video I've made about influence. It's so important for you guys to surround yourself with quality people who want the best for you. Like a true friend, someone who's really, really your friend, is not going to tell you these things. That you're too disciplined, that you're too focused, that you're too obsessed with something. No, they will support you on your cause. They'll be like, fuck yeah, man, you're doing a great job. Fuck yeah, girl, you're rolling. You look amazing in that bikini. That's a real friend. A poor friend is someone who's just gonna put you down. They're gonna distract you. They're gonna tell you to just be realistic and to be like us. To conform to us, basically. So it's important, guys. And I know this is not an easy thing to do, but you gotta make some proactive choices to change your social circle and your surrounding. Another reason why it's important to have people who will not only surround you, but who've also been on the path, who've been on the same path as you, because they can give you guidance. They can they're ahead of you, and they can look back at their life and tell you, hey man, like, do this, do that. You're doing good. Don't stop. Just keep going, just keep pushing. Because I also think it's because people, or most normal people, they just don't have the self-confidence in themselves. They don't have the confidence that the result will appear in the future only if they keep doing the work. They lack that confidence. So I don't think it's 100% their fault. Because most people have never been taught to believe in themselves. Most people have never been taught to take proactive decisions and to set higher standards for themselves. It's just not the case for the majority of people. But guys, it's so important to keep that momentum. Don't lose it. You've already done the work. You're already ahead of 90% of people when you have the momentum. So don't stop. Keep going. Please. And just be aware that you're in control of that momentum. You've created that momentum. So you can either keep it or you can lose it. It's all in your hands. And this reminds me of the concept from the book, The Compound Effect, which is a fantastic book. I highly, highly recommend it to you guys. And he talks about all of the things I've just talked about. That you gotta know how to create your momentum, and you also gotta keep it. And that a lot of the results that you guys want in life will come much later. It takes a long, long time to get really good results in most areas of life. Which is why I like which is why I think fitness and business are so relatable, because both require the same seed. There's just so many parallels to these two things. They all require the same type of mentality, because fitness cannot be bought, and well, business can be bought, obviously, but with fitness you not only have to put in the work, but you also got to be consistent, and you got to know that the result will come later down the road at some point. It's the same thing in business. If you do enough calls, you do enough meetings, you do enough outreaches, you shake enough hands, you will start to make some money. But most people are not even like I know I'm repeating myself here. Most people just don't know. I think it's the uncertainty. I think it's people that just I think it's the uncertainty that people have, or they have a lack of mentors. They just lack that knowledge or understanding of life. I think that's also one of the biggest reasons why, as to why that is. So realize that you can create positive momentum in life, whether it's negative or positive. You are in control of that momentum, and it starts with the very, very small basic choices that you make daily. The things that you think don't matter, yes, they do matter, more than you think, baby. And two, once you start to create good momentum in your life, start to appreciate it. Like be proud of yourself. I mean, yes, man, I've made good changes in my life. I'm on the right path. I'm making a difference. So start to acknowledge it as well, because once you're aware of this concept, you're much less likely to mess up your momentum. So don't mess it up, guys. It is much harder to create momentum than to actually keep it. And to further illustrate this point in the most basic way possible, think of it in terms of a plane taking off. When a plane takes off, it requires so much energy, so much fuel, so much speed, so much power before it finally gets to a point where it can take off the ground. And at some point, when it reaches a certain altitude and has a certain airspeed, it doesn't require as much energy as it once needed. And it's such a great example, because that's just how life works as well. At first, your habits require so much conscious effort, so much energy and thought and planning. But eventually, over time, you'll get to a point where it will just be a part of you. You won't even have to think about it. You won't have to negotiate with yourself if it's a good or bad thing, because you know where you got to go. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I wish you a wonderful day, because it's so sunny out here. Ciao. Or think about it in terms of building a skyscraper. Imagine how much time is required, how many materials are needed, how many construction workers, engineers, and architects have to work on that project, and how much time it takes to finally build a 300-foot skyscraper. It takes a lot of time, right? But let's flip the script. How much time and effort is needed to demolish that skyscraper? Well, all you really need is a wrecking ball. Swing it a couple of times back and forth, and the whole skyscraper is excruciated.